Frank West, star of the Marvel vs. Capcom series, is getting a brand new game in September. Maybe a few facts that you didn't know about him. This is not just an excuse for me to talk about Dead Rising, shut up. Frank West is the star photographer who is the star of the Dead Rising franchise, and despite being kind of a plain white man, has an extremely iconic look and voice.
Come on!
However, eagle-eyed and mouse-eared viewers have lately caught on to the fact that Frank has changed a bit going into Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. The most notable and upsetting thing of them all being his voice.
Follow me!
TJ Rotolo was the voice of Frank West in Dead Rising 1, Case West, Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, and both of his Marvel vs. Capcom appearances. But despite his ownership of the role and the love that he gets from the fans, he was allegedly cold-shouldered by Capcom when it came to Dead Rising 4 in the new game, saying, quote, "I simply wasn't called." While disappointing, his new VO is not doing a bad job. It's just a very different interpretation of the voice. Now he's got a more grizzled New Yorker vibe to him.
Frank West.
Remember that name, because the whole world's gonna know it in 3 days.
As for his new look in DRDR, it's a little rough, but apparently that was on purpose, as the team at Capcom wanted him to look older and a little more hardened. But if you pre-order, you will get the OG 2006 skin for free, because they knew that people would be kind of upset. And to be fair, he's not the only one that's getting a makeover. We know Frank West as the guy who broke the news on the Willamette, Colorado zombie incident. However, before he broke the news, nobody else even really knew about it, having received a tip that something big was going on beyond the government-approved narrative of civil unrest. And with the military blocking any and all access to and from the city, Frank was the only brave reporter who made it into the city to investigate what the hell was up. Whatever's going on here isn't gonna scare him. He's covered wars, you know. Then the famous crash landing introduction to the game comes face to face with a mysterious man who we would learn to be Carlito, the guy who started this incident in Willamette in the first place. Bit of a coincidence, ain't it? Carlito asks if Frank's a reporter and asks if he came alone. With all of this, people have put together that Carlito himself was likely the one who sent the tip to Frank, as well as potentially a bunch of other reporters who weren't able to get into the city, to make sure that this incident got news coverage. And without Frank, the story may have never gotten out in the first place, having been swept under the rug by the government. So in the end, Carlito won, I guess. But that's you get it. Now Frank, the superstar that he is, has made several appearances outside of Dead Rising, the biggest of them all obviously being in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. And as a reporter slash photographer, there's another character you can probably guess that he has a bit of a rivalry with, that being Mayor Mike Spider-Man. Through the MVCI story mode, intros, and win quotes, you can see that Frank and Spidey have a bit of a spirited relationship, as well as a potential past that we don't see on camera.
There's something else. Something ugly. Frank West, ladies and gentlemen!
However, Dead Rising is not the only zombie apocalypse that Frank West has been involved in. As in the Left 4 Dead 2 DLC, The Passing, in one of the safe house rooms, you can find a note scrawled on the wall that reads, "Otis, no helicopter. Zombies are too fast, not gonna make it. Signed, Frank West." Bless his heart, he barely made it out alive from a mall filled with shambling idiot zombies. So, despite how many wars he's covered, hunters, tanks, and smokers might have just been too much. But we never saw his body, so maybe Frank was okay after all. So yeah, follow for more fighting game content and maybe some Dead Rising stuff, because I like Dead Rising and you can't stop me. Also, thank you to my patrons, Big Ol' Fart and Fred, Trevor, and Josh Braggs.